Your makeup isn't lasting because you're doing it wrong. I want to show you how to properly use this product. This is Endless Cacao by Makeup Forever. I believe, actually I don't believe, I know I've sold tens of thousands of this product. I know. Many of you are like, whoa, that's too much blush. The point is I actually don't have any complexion on yet. So now I don't like the lips that I do, or myself or other people, to go too wide here. I like them to go wide here and here. I will never make a primer. You might see me make something that has the word primer in it, but it will not be, as you know, a primer.
I think it's clear I've been watching a lot of TikTok recently. Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. For today's video, we're gonna be doing something a bit different, and am I gonna say it? Is she gonna say it? I think she's gonna say it. I'm very excited about today's video. Today, I want to expose you to the mother of makeup. I feel like there's a lot of mothers of makeup, and I feel like the main mother of makeup is Pat McGrath. I've heard this all over the place, like she's the mother of makeup, but today I want to expose you to a mother of makeup. Her name is Katie Jane Hughes. I'm French, can you tell? Ever since I started my makeup journey and creating my YouTube channel, my Instagram page and everything, I was exposed to this makeup artist, and I really see myself in her style. She has very unique makeup techniques, but they just make so much freaking sense. First, we're going to start with the skin prep.
Now, on the topic of longevity, what you put under your makeup absolutely controls the wear of your makeup. If you're wearing a serum, an oil, a cream, an SPF, and a sheer tinted complexion product, unless you are hyper dry, then nothing's gonna last. So just think about that and then flip it in reverse. If you're oily, you probably don't need any of those things. You probably, if you're oily and your makeup does not last very long at all, you probably need an SPF stick at max with then a matte full coverage concealer or foundation. Just think about how your skin does with complexion products throughout the day and adjust your skincare accordingly.
I didn't really dive deeply into all of her content because there's so much content, but something I noticed is that she never talks about skincare. What she's trying to say is to adapt your skincare to your skin type, and she's also very makeup oriented and not like super skincare oriented. So if someone has oily skin and that person wants their makeup to last longer, her recommendation would be to use very light skincare. So in terms of skin prep and skincare, that's pretty much everything I found. So because I have very dry skin, but I don't want to overdo my skincare, I'm just going to be doing a serum, a moisturizer, and my SPF. That's pretty much the minimum I would do on an everyday basis. I'll be using I have a mixed feeling about this brand and these products because they reached out to me. I'm gonna throw some tea here, a bit of shade maybe, but they reached out to me and they asked if I wanted to try these products. They would send it my way. And in their first email, it was clear that this was not like a requirement to post about these products. So I sent them all of my information, and I was very looking forward to trying these products out. And then in their confirmation email, their second email, they were like, oh, that's great, we're gonna send the products your way. Make sure when you post the content to tag us and send us the link so that our marketing agent can take a look at it or whatever. So their second email was like, you have to post about this. So I was like, whoa, wait a minute. The first email, it didn't seem that way. So I answered and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think that posting about it would be a requirement. So please cancel the order. I do not like to try products and not knowing that I like them and having to post content about it. So I was like, cancel the order. It's okay. I don't really care if I don't try these products. So then they replied and they were like, okay, we'll cancel the order, but there will be a cancellation fee, and it's gonna tarnish our next collaborations. I was like, what the heck?
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
This does not seem fair. So then I answered and I was like, okay, well, your first email, I replied, what did I reply? Oh yeah, I have it here. So then a couple of minutes after they sent the email saying that our relationship would be tarnished and then I'm gonna have to pay cancellation fees. They sent another email right away saying, oh, we checked in our system and we cannot cancel this, so we'll still send it your way. And they say that this campaign does not require content creation. Why didn't they say this at the second email they sent me saying, like, oh my goodness, I was like flabbergasted. It's really stupid, but I feel like if I'm gonna show these products, I'm at least gonna be talking about this exchange. That was a long ramble. So I'm going to be using the Dr. G products. I have no freaking clue what this brand eats in winter, but I know that my skin has been really enjoying this. So these products are good for redness, acne, irritation, dullness, and I can say for sure that this has reduced inflammation in my skin. It's a Korean brand, and I know that Korean beauty products are very sought out. So yeah, I just wanted to share this bit of information with you. Let me know in the comments below if you like to hear these types of little story. But yeah, I found it really funny. And lastly, I always wear a SPF. I've been really enjoying the Sephora brand SPF. It's a physical sunscreen, SPF 30, and it's cheap. It's so cheap. It's always on sale. Like, I bought this one for $11, I think, and it's super lightweight. I highly recommend this sunscreen. The next step would be the brows.
I've been a makeup artist for 20 years, and here are my top brow tips. Make sure that the brow area is free and clean of any products, oils, or moisturizers before you start doing your eyebrows. This will allow the makeup to stick properly and it will last longer. Always start at a sparse part of the brow first, because if you go to an area where you already have density, you're just adding more density, creating heavier looking brows, which is fine if that's what you want. Don't be afraid to play and add shapes and arches and extra pointy areas to the brow, because the brows, at the end of the day, frame the face. For maximum precision when using Boy Brow Arch, make sure to use the Precision Sharpener Cap to create a perfect point. Literal hair-like strokes. Boy Brow Arch will always be my favorite pencil because of all of those things. And that's why Boy Brow Arch is my favorite pencil. When using a brow gel, when using Boy Brow, I like to take off the excess on the neck, aka the wiper of the bottle. I then like to go to the middle of the brow first to avoid too much heaviness at the front. I then groom the tail, and then I go to the forward part last. I like that forward part to be quite spiky and up, and then I like these ones to be groomed a little bit down. Practice good brow, because brows frame the face.
You tell them. So I already fucked up. Oh my goodness, and I prepped for this. What's happening? Another TikTok started playing. And I prepped for this makeup look video. So let me just remove the cream from my brows. Alright, I have successfully removed all the moisturizer, sunscreen, and serum from my brows. So this TikTok goes against everything that's making me me. I always do my brows after my complexion because I cannot be bothered to apply my foundation precisely around done brows. Doing the brows first is a bit weird for me, but we're gonna try it out. I don't have that specific product, but I do have the Goof Proof Brow Pencil from Benefit, and it has like a similar shape. Because I don't have that sharpener, that Glossier sharpener, I'm going to tap this pencil on a flat surface just to flatten it out. Now it's looking flat. I feel like a 2014 makeup guru. She mentions to always start at a sparse place on the brow. Because if you start at a place where there's a lot of hair, then you're just gonna make the whole brow even darker because you'll have to match the sparse spaces with the already dark and hairy, hair-filled spot. So for me, that's pretty much the tail of my brow. I feel like the color is already like darker than usual because sometimes moisturizer can dilute the pigment. I can say that flattening the tip definitely sharpened the pencil and allows me to create hair stroke lines. That's good. I'm actually really happy with the tip that said start with the sparse area. I always start like in the front of my brow and fill the whole thing. But now that I started with the tail of my brow, I find that I don't even have to fill like this the center of my brow. I really like this. I'm already learning. I'm already liking some of this. Wow. I'm very excited about this trick. Why didn't I ever think about that before? The center part does not have any product in it, and look how natural my brows are looking. Not bad. Oh yeah, I'm excited about this one.
Hi guys, how are you? I want to challenge you with something today. Take your highlighter, any highlighter, take a small brush, and before putting on any makeup, concealer, foundation, whatever it is, I want you to slather your face in your highlighter, because as you apply the highlighter to all parts of the face, you will in fact be refracting the light away from imperfections. So you could say I'm using this highlighter almost as a concealer, because it is bouncing the light away from parts of my face that I don't want attention to be drawn to. So we're just going to go all here. Create this lovely, like, radiant, glowy, hyper real skin effect. Now I have a concealer of my choice. This is a Westman Atelier, and I am priming it into the brush. I am not, in fact, going to put it directly on the skin. I'm going to prime it into the brush that has that little bit of highlighter in it, because what's going to happen, that little bit of highlighter is going to just allow for this concealer to be even more glowy. Then I'm going to take that concealer and I'm going to skim it around here.
For this TikTok, we're mainly concentrating on the highlight part because I do have another video for the foundation, concealer, and everything. But I fell on this video and I was like, oh my god, I want to do this. This is calling my name. In all of her tutorial, she always has beautiful skins, beautiful glowy skin. Not sure if she does this all the time, but when I saw this trick, I was like, this is gonna give me the glass skin of my dreams, and I'm looking forward to it. The only highlight that I have that is a cream is from the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush palette. This palette is freaking beautiful. I bought this years ago. It's probably expired, but we don't think about that too much when it comes to personal makeup. I reach for them all the time. They're so good. And for that trick, I'll be using the Diamond Cream shade. She's using some kind of a fan brush, so I'm going to be doing the same. She's pretty much applying it all over her face, concentrating on the areas where the light would usually hit. Oh my goodness, I'm looking so glowy. I love it. Oh my goodness. I forgot to put in the brow gel. Wow. It's clear that I'm excited about all of these tips because I just skipped the brow gel. So in the video, she mentions that she removes the excess on the neck of the bottle. She starts at the tail of the brows and then brings it at the front, making the front parts sticky, not sticky, stick up, and grooming down the rest of the brow. All right, here we go. Now we can continue to the highlights. I already know that I'm gonna love this trick. My skin right now looks very shiny, very highlighty, and we like this.
As a makeup artist, the first thing that you need to learn on the job is how to do skin well. I'm gonna show you how to make full coverage foundation not look full coverage at all and make it look like skin to the point where you look flawless at the same time. Should be undetectable, but you should look perfect and flawless. This is my palette, aka my clean hand. This is a full coverage foundation from Fenty. It is called Pro Filter and the shade is 210. This is a dense brush. This is a Spectrum KJH collab brush number 25. This product is going to get smooshed into the brush very well to the point where you can barely see it on my hand and you can barely see it in the brush, but the brush is tinted with the product. Okay, now we apply. I'm going to do one half of my face just so that you can see the difference of both sides. So I'm just stippling that product on my face that's in the brush in the areas where I have redness or breakouts or little bits that I want to even out from a skin tone perspective. And I'm always starting in the T-zone. Around the nose, around the eyes, pushing it in. Not wiping it, not rubbing it, just pushing it into the skin. Almost like a blotting motion. So that's step one. This is the before side of my face, after side of my face. Now I'm going to grab my favorite concealer. This is the Mario Surreal Skin. I use the shade 180. Going back to my palette, which is my hand. Warms up the product for you. It's a perfect place to work from. Now I'm going to grab the mini size of this exact same brush. So this is the big one for a wide spatial coverage, quick blending, densing of cream bronzers, blending of cream blushes, whatever. This is a mini version. This is called the 34. These are both available in the 6-piece kit from KJH and Spectrum. I'm going to take that little swatch of concealer on the back of my hand, massage it or push it or smudge it or smush it or prime it into this brush like your life depends on it. So this first step was kind of like your general evening out step. This step now is kind of like the refinement step. So I'm going to take this brush that I've primed with the concealer and I'm just going to slowly start to press and tap in areas where I want a little bit more coverage, whether it's around the mouth, whether it's on a little bits of breakouts, whether it's on any hyperpigmentation. You're just going to start to stipple and tap into any areas that you like to conceal. Do not, I repeat, do not go to the fine lines and wrinkles and the eyelids first, because the majority of product will be in the brush, therefore the majority of product will be on those areas, and we technically don't need that much coverage in those areas anyway. So I'm really using what's in the brush in flat surfaces first that have the need of coverage before I go to any areas where creasing is very common. Into the nostrils a little bit just there. And now with what's left in this brush and maybe a little bit of what's on the back of my hand, the palm of my hand, I'm going to do the eyelid. So you want just the tiniest amount on the eyelid, because if you do a big thick wedge of concealer and then blend it into the eyelid, I promise you it will crease. It will make all the other makeup that you put on crease, and it just kind of looks unnatural. So then this little refining tool, if you've got red ears and you've got your hair tied back, please do the ears. Do yourself a favor. If you're a makeup artist, please do not overlook the ears if you are doing someone's makeup and their ears are exposed, because their ears are a different color to their face. It looks mad obvious and it looks really strange in photographs. And here's my before, a little bit red, a little bit blotchy, bits of hyperpigmentation, redness around my nose, uneven complexion. Still slight little bits of that, because I personally think that it's nice to have a few of those natural things peeking through, freckles for example, little beauty marks, because otherwise then that limits how natural the makeup looks. It's like there's a balance between something being flawless and something being natural. You want to bridge the gap between both, and I think that this is kind of that sweet spot.
On a regular basis, I don't like to apply a bunch of concealer, a bunch of foundation. And I feel like when I apply it directly on my face, I do just that. I apply a bunch of it. So I usually reach for lightweight, liquid, sheer foundations and concealers. But this tip allows to get that full coverage effect, but still look natural. And you'll notice that this is a very consistent tip of hers in all of her recommendation and content. It's to prep the brush, and that means to apply the product in the brush so that the brush does its job and applies the product for you instead of going straight in with the foundation or concealer or anything. For this, I'm going to be taking a very, 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 very high coverage concealer, foundation. This is the Dermablend Flawless Creator Liquid Foundation Drops. They say drops, but girl, this is thick. Thick. And I don't particularly like this foundation because it's too high coverage. It's too much for me. I don't like it because of that, but I wanted to try it with this tip to see if I would like this foundation with that brush application. Also, this shade is too light for me, so I'm just going to mix it in with a dark concealer. Like, look how thick this is. I can't even get it out. It doesn't want to get in there. I don't know why they put thick foundation in a fucking...
I need to calm down. Everything's fine.
Amanda.
I'm an adult.
In a freaking droplet application. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. All right, here we go. I have my mix on the back of my hand, and let's prep the brush. And I'm gonna prime the brush. Let's start tapping this on the face. I feel like that's too much. It's giving very heavy right now, so I'm just going to tap it off even more. Let's try that again. Now I'm starting to think that I might not have any product in the brush anymore, so I'm going to do a test, and yeah, there's still product in there. So I'm just gonna continue and create a overall layer. This is looking promising. I think I just don't like this foundation itself because it's kind of like matte, and I'm not a huge fan of matte foundations, but I do like the application. I really like the application. Usually this full coverage foundation, if I were to apply it directly on the face and blend it out with a brush or a sponge, it would look thick. It would look so cakey and you would not be able to see any of my few blemishes, beauty marks. It would all be gone. But now I feel covered, but I can still see a couple of these normal, natural elements to my skin. And that's one of the things I love about her technique, is that it's all about looking natural but flawless. This is a technique I'm definitely gonna store in my pocket. My skin looks flawless, yet super natural, and also the highlight underneath gives that subtle glow from within effect. I really like it. So next I'll be taking the Derma Blend concealer. I'm also going to mix it a bit with the darker concealer because this shade is way too light for me. Okay, so here we go. I have the concealer on the back of my hand and I'm going to be prepping the brush and applying the concealer to the areas where I need it the most, but I'm going to avoid the fine lines as she mentioned, because the first time you're going to apply this concealer, it's the place where it's going to have the most coverage. And if you apply this directly underneath the eyes, for example, in fine lines, then it's going to crease most definitely. This is looking so good. Again, same thing with the concealer. My skin looks flawless, but not cakey. I'm mind blown right now. Oh, another thing she mentioned, don't forget to get the ears, especially with clients. If they're going to be taking photos, you want to get the ears to be the same color, because especially me, my ears tend to get very red.
Don't do this, do this. Much better. Don't do this or this, do this. Prime the brush for better makeup application. Don't do this. Do this. Get your products into the brush first before applying them to your face. You will apply less. You will have a better control of where the product goes, what it does, what it looks like, how thick it is, how much coverage you have, all of the above. Everything is better when you get it into the brush first. Fact, this will crease in moments. This will not. And I can still thin this out more with the warmth of my finger or a little bit more brush pressure, and it will still give me the coverage that I'm looking for.
All right, so this video is kind of a summary of the foundation and concealer video we watched before, but I wanted to show this one because you can do this trick with the cream bronzer and also the cream blush, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to be applying my bronzer and my blush in the exact same way. It looks like she's using like a small brush, so I'm just going to take this. This looks good enough. And for my bronzer, I'm going to be taking the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Power Boost. I'm just going to take some of that on the back of my hand and then get that into the brush and apply it on my face. As you can see, this is transferring so nice, and I like this a lot right now because I have so much freaking control of where I'm applying the bronzer. I think I'm just gonna go over with the foundation brush just to blend it out a bit more. It looks so good. I cannot. Next, for my blush, I want to try a liquid blush. This is the Rare Beauty liquid blush in the shade Hope. I'm going to put some of that on the back of my hand and again prep the brush and apply this on my cheeks. I also noticed that she likes to apply blush like pretty much all over the face, on the forehead, the nose, also on the eyes, just to make things a bit more natural, because if you were just to apply blush on the cheeks, then it doesn't look very natural. You want to make it even all over the face. Do you see what I'm seeing? This blush with this bronzer, with this foundation, with this concealer, everything applied just beautifully. Nothing is patching up, nothing is moving around, nothing is like removing something else. All of these products are just working together, and I feel like it's because there's not a bunch of it. Like, of course, if I were to apply a thick layer of foundation, if I were to apply my blush like this on top, it would have removed it completely. But because we're applying such a small amount, yet getting the perfect coverage, all of the products on top are just applying beautifully. Katie, you're onto something. You've been for the past 20 years of your career, but thank you for not gatekeeping. Thank you so much. This is mind-blowing. Now let's do the same with the highlight. I'm getting like super excited now. I'm gonna be taking the Rare Beauty highlight in the shade Enlighten. 10 out of 10. Do this. Try this. Please. Try this and let me know in the comments below how it went. Now I'm going to apply some powder, and I'm just gonna go back to finish one of the video we started.
All right, now I'm gonna powder this face on this side. A little bit of Tilbury No. 1. And I'm actually gonna use a flat foundation brush, which is typically used to paint your face with foundation. But actually these are really good for powdering in a precise way. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of product on both sides of the brush, and then I'm gonna slowly just like look at my face and see where the shine is. Just really dissect. So for example, I definitely wanna go right there, and I'm just gonna gently blot. So think of like blotting sheets or a blotting tool. This is kind of what this is going to do with powder. You just want to gently sweep. Good place to also powder for longevity is around the mouth, just here. Under the nose, inside of the nose. You can use the point of the bristles to get inside of the nose there. Same for the eyelid. You can do that and not have like an overloaded amount of powder. Brushes like this for powder, in my opinion, are a big no-no because they do too much. You don't need as much as what you think you need. So small brushes that have an option to be flat or pointy like this are actually a really, really good result with powdering. So I'm just gently placing my powder, blotting it in, working against where my fine lines are. If you go like that across the fine lines, you might make them more obvious with the powder, whereas if you go backwards, you're sort of pushing the powder into the area as opposed to letting it sit on top. It's the same with big pores. If you've got larger pores on the face, you're going to want to tap into the skin with the complexion as opposed to swipe over the top. So when you swipe over the top, it actually doesn't sit into the pores. You kind of want the product to go into the pores, for lack of a better word. Not really, but you know what I'm saying, hopefully. You just sort of want to just like, because half the time when you're pushing product into the skin like this, you're picking up the excess. You're not really like forcing it into the skin. The skin can only take so much product.
The skin can really take so much product. I think that's it. That's like her quote for her vibe and technique. That's a really good one.
Is the most important part of your makeup routine, because I think when the complexion is done well and to a standard of like elegance, elevated chicness, everything else looks cool, even if all of the other things are a bit messy. So there's our before. And here's our after.
All right, let's try this out. So I have my flat brush right here. I'll be taking the Kaleidos Symphony Face Illuminator in medium. I'm going to coat the brush on both sides, and I'm going to apply my powder like that. Swiping goes against my being right now. As I mentioned, I have very dry skin, so I'm not going to apply too much powder, mainly on my under eyes. And she said to go against the wrinkles. This feels so wrong, but so right. My skin is looking flawless right now. I cannot believe. Now, for this next tip, we're going to do some eyeshadow, and we're going to be using one eyeshadow for the whole look, and we're going to make it pop.
Nice.
When I saw this video, I was like, I need to try this right now.
Maximum impact but minimal effort eyes with one bright eyeshadow and a single brush. And Fix Plus, or any setting spray that has glycerin in it. You're going to spray the brush like so. I like to pick a corner of an eyeshadow palette or an eyeshadow pan to use it wet. This isn't necessarily a wet dry, but shimmery eyeshadows will in fact apply decadently when they are wet. Now I'm just going to take that brush and apply it to the lash line, beveling the brush. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm like using the flat of the brush for the wide part, but then I'm twisting the brush to maneuver it where there's less space to play with. Now I'm just going to start to build that pigment until it's kind of where I want it to be. Before I move on, I'm going to take a dense brush that's a similar size, so it's just shorter and denser, and I'm going to start putting some pressure at the edge of this eye where the detail stops, or where the pigment stops, effectively. Slowly start to blend it as I go. There's a bit of a yellowy base to this eyeshadow, which I'm not mad at, actually. It's actually pretty nice. And then I'm going to start adding more. And every time I sort of apply, I want it to dry just a little bit. But then I do want to blend it before it's too late. I mean, it's never really too late to blend an eyeshadow that starts as a powder that you make wet, because it's not, you're not making it waterproof. So I'm just doing this, and I'm going to just bring it up towards the middle of my eye, where I know that my sort of fold will swallow and hide the product. And then I'm just again using the density of that brush clean. There's nothing on this second brush to just blend out the edges. And then with a dry brush, I'm going to take just a dry, fluffy, dense. You could also use another version of a similar size brush. I'm going to start packing that dry side right over top. This is going to add longevity. It's going to boost pigment payoff. It's going to make it not crease. And it's also going to allow for me to bring it up higher. And the reason why I did this wet from the get-go is because this pigment by itself, before I wet it, is only giving me this. And yeah, I could build it, but I love the fact that I can go this hard, but I can also go this soft. Like, that's the beauty of makeup, and that's the beauty of makeup with malleable textures when you add Fix Plus or water into the mix.
I think you know why I wanted to do this. Look at the shine that the setting spray gave that shimmer eyeshadow. So I have a couple of options in terms of a glycerin based setting spray. I have the NYX Plump Finish setting spray, and the two, technically all the all-nighters have glycerin in them, but these ones, the glycerin is higher in the list of ingredients, so there's more glycerin in these two than all of the other Urban Decay all-nighter. I think I'm just going to be taking the yellow one. In terms of eyeshadow, I went in my personal bathroom stash, and I decided to go ahead and pick up the Oden's Eye individual eyeshadow palettes. This is a magnetic palette, and you can customize the shades you put in there. I said this in my last video. I'm gonna say this in every single video that I use Oden's Eye eyeshadow. These are the best eyeshadow out there. Try them. So I'm going to be taking this reddish shade, and again I'm going to spray the brush. And I think I'm going to do one eye with the setting spray and the other without the setting spray. So I'm going to pick up this eyeshadow with the setting spray, and I'm going to apply it like she did. I'm going to take a dense brush with nothing on it, start blending the edges a little bit, and I'm going to be doing that until I have the shape and intensity that I want. Now with a fluffy dense brush like she did, I'm just going to go over all of the edges. It's definitely stiff and hard to blend, and I'm also seeing some fallout. I'm just going to try to fluff some of these fallouts away. I'm having a bit of difficulty trying to get a good blend. I'm gonna take just a little bit of that eyeshadow on the brush and fluff that on the edges. And she also took some of the eyeshadow dry and dabbed it on top of the glycerin eyeshadow. Oh yeah, now I'm getting a bunch of fallout from that dry eyeshadow. So the glycerin base actually avoided some of the fallout. That looks intense. Oh wow, look at the shine. Okay, that looks really good. Now just to test without the glycerin, I'm going to apply the other eye with my finger. It's definitely not as intense, although it is easier to blend. Oh yeah, I have a lot of fallout on this eye and barely any on the other. I went ahead and applied some mascara. So as you can see, I had a bit more trouble trying to blend this eye. So this eye is a bit more smoky, but in terms of shine and also in fallout, this eye with the glycerin was so much better. So I have two last videos to show you, which we will be using together.
Don't do this. Do this. To make your lips look fuller, you technically don't actually need to go all the way around the mouth. The fullest part of the lip should always be the center. Keep the part that goes down the lip quite slight and thin. Obviously, unless you've got natural fullness there, then go where it's supposed to go. But the plumpest part of a pout when overdrawing slightly is always beautiful, in my opinion. Right here. Support when drawing lips. Pinky on the chin.
Alright, so that's that for the lip liner. But before we apply the lip liner, there's this other video that talks about longevity.
The word longevity is toxic. The expectancy of longevity in makeup is unrealistic. Let me explain a bit more about what I mean by this. To give you this example, I'm going to use a full coverage long wear matte liquid lipstick. One of the most bulletproof type of formulas in the industry. Just removing what I've got on. And on one side of my lip, I'm going to use lip balm. On the other side, I'm not going to do anything at all. On this side, I'm going to just do powder to reinforce this experiment even more. All right, so this is my personal one. I'm just going to go straight in. So we're going to go around. I'm going to dry this with a fan. So in just a sec, this will become matte and pretty much budge proof. It will be full opaque coverage and I don't know, you'll see. Essentially anything under your makeup, whether it's skin tint, foundation, concealer, liquid bronzer, powder bronzer, cream bronzer, contour, any single thing. I'm not trying to avoid skincare here, but anything skincare related underneath your products is going to change the longevity of said products. So now I'm going to go back in with this doe foot on this side and I'm going to do the same thing. You can already see the coverage level is different because it's not got really anything to grip to. It's gripping to the lip balm. If you want longevity, I would do lip balm, but you're going to want to sleep in it and just, not overdo it in the morning underneath your makeup if you want maximum longevity of coverage of a product. Now this will probably still dry down to some sort of slightly demi-matte finish. Let's see. Also, I'll say this might be an effect that you want. There's nothing wrong with this side. It's just different. And I think I like to try and always set you up for success so that you know what your products are going to do with what products are underneath them. This one is definitely not going matte as quick because of the lip balm, but I can feel it drying down a touch. Do you see the difference? These have had about the same amount of time to dry. This one is completely matte. This one is still shiny. If I touch this, it's probably going to transfer. Yeah, if I touch this one, way less. It's pretty, common sense. But if you don't know and if nobody's ever told you, then why would you know? I will say this side is much more comfortable. This side's much more comfortable because it's got that balmy effect. But if I go to kiss someone or if I'm doing something, this side's going to transfer. This side is not. And so that leads me to say, never judge a product until you've used it properly.
Right, so that puts Danielle also in the beginning of the video where she was talking about the fact that skincare will affect the makeup application and the longevity. Whatever you put underneath the makeup is going to dictate what's going to happen throughout the day. And with this, I wanted to try and do the same test. So one side of my face with the lip balm and the other without the lip balm and see if it really does do something. And I also wanted to do the lip contour tip that she gave because honestly, I have a lot of I don't like doing my lips. I have small lips and every time they're crooked also. So I really dread doing my lips. So I wanted to try that tip. So I'm going to be prepping my lips, then applying the lip liner and then the lipstick. So I'm just gonna mattify my lips. And I'm going to apply some lip balm on the other. For my lip liner, I'll be taking the Forever Artist color pencil in the shade Endless Cacao. I actually bought this because of Katie Jane. I think this is her favorite color for lip contouring. And I'm going to do what she did. So I'm going to concentrate the lip pencil on the Cupid's bow and underneath my lip. And I'm going to be very light and follow my lip shape on the corners. I can already tell that my lips maybe do look fuller, not so stupid. Okay, so far so good. I can definitely tell a difference between both sides already. The lip liner is a bit less pigmented on the lip balm side than the matte side. And now I'm going to be using a liquid lipstick. This is the About Face liquid lipstick in the shade Baby's Arm. Okay, I feel like this lip does not really go with these eyes, but it's okay. We're just testing things out, you know? I think I like this lip liner shape. Let me know in the comments below. Does this look better than my usual lip liner job? I feel like I overline on the sides a bit too much sometimes, and this gives me the poutiness at the top and the bottom without looking like over the top. So yeah, I think I like it. Now for the lip balm versus the powdered side of my face, I'm going to do like a little kiss test. You can't really see that well. Okay, I kissed right here. So there's a little bit of color on the powdered side. There's a lot more on the lip balm side, which makes total sense. Like, you're applying a lip balm underneath a liquid lipstick, it's definitely gonna be less smudge proof than if you were to apply a liquid lipstick on bare lips or powdered lips. And honestly, the powdered side does not feel uncomfortable by any means. So I'm just gonna be setting my face just to seal everything in place, give me a bit more of a dewy finish. And here we have it. So I really wanted to concentrate on mostly the skin today because that brush prepping technique really calls to me. Because you know when you use a foundation brush or like a highlight brush only for highlight, and because you have used it so much, the brush still has highlight in it and you can almost just use it without even dipping into some other products. So it makes so much sense in my head. Like, my skin looks so good right now. Honestly, all of these tricks I'm going to be applying on a regular basis. In the comments below, let me know if you've heard of Katie Jane Hughes. Let me know if these are tricks that you've already heard of. Are you going to try these out? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you like this video format. I've been trying a couple of things on my YouTube channel. I wanted to diverse a little and do some different type of content aside from editorial makeup tutorials, because those videos are not doing great. I put a lot of effort into them, and it's kind of sad to put so much effort into something and not seeing any results. Like, I barely have like 200 views for those videos, whereas the videos that I posted lately that I try stuff out from TikTok, I've been seeing a lot more engagement. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. What the heck was that? Bye.